Hello everyone, and welcome to another AGACAD webinar. Thanks for joining us, and today we are going to talk about SortMark tool and its power to automate elements numbering in Revit. I would like to start by introducing myself. My name is Karolis and I'm 23 years old. I recently joined AGACAD as a BIM application engineer. I'm a graduate of Architectural Technology and Construction Management at VIA University College in Denmark. Before I joined AGACAD, I had some practical experience as an architect assistant and architectural technologist here in Lithuania and Denmark. And I was working on multiple different size of projects and BIM models. As I have some practical experience in the industry, I understand the overall workflow and the daily tasks of architects, engineers, and designers. I understand how those tasks can be exhausting, stressful, and time-consuming. So I'm here to show you how you can eliminate those tasks. That's not only my personal value, but that's also probably one of the main values of our company, to help Revit users to eliminate tasks that do not create value and help them to automate their work. Our products are created together with our clients, and that's what we meant by saying building BIM together. We are strongly focused on our clients' needs, feedback, so we can create the products that can be effective in their daily life. Also, as a company, we started to develop Revit add-ons in 2008. So since then, we have created many different products. Also, we are partners of the Autodesk AEC industry, also part of European digital transformation leader in Archons. And we are based in Vilnius, Lithuania. So today I'm going to talk about SortMark, but there are many more tools and solutions in our website. We provide products such as metal framing, wood framing. We also have some precast concrete solutions. But let's focus today on the SortMark. And I will start by showing you 3 different models in which you will see how the SortMark can be useful while marking grid lines automatically. Also, how we can sort and mark structural and architectural Revit elements such as doors, walls. Also, I will present the auto-generate QR and barcode system, which is quite new in the SortMark tool. And I'll cover also some other features of the tool, such as calculation of the coordinates, elevations, etc. So let's start by our first module. I'll start by opening the BIM doc of our products, and you can find the SortMark tool under the Tools for Revit tab. And the SortMark is right here, so we can open it. Yeah, just drag from the ribbon, and so the SortMark has many features. It has grid numbering, room numbering, space numbering, sheet numbering. The element numbering covers all the other element categories which you can choose to number. All these features, they are used in collaboration with features above, with numbering features. Also, we have auto-fill door swing direction, also orientation, and finally we have the function how to calculate elevations and coordinates. So let's start by grid numbering. That's one of the first features in the SortMark. It often can help you in the beginning design phases. Then you need to do many changes, add, move, or delete the grid lines, which can sometimes cause some mistakes. So yeah, here I have a simple example, and let's say in the beginning phases we want to add some structural columns or structural walls. So let's say I need 2 additional walls in here, and I also need the grid lines accordingly here, so I can emphasize the location of these walls. But now you can see that these numbers, it doesn't really follow the right order, and what we would do usually, we would need to go to the parameters and rename all the grids by the keyboard. But we have here a grid numbering tool, which really helps us to do it automatically. So here you can choose horizontal, vertical, diagonal, or even all type of grids in the view. So in this case, we need to choose vertical, as we want to renumber vertical elements. And here you can type the number or the letter from which you want to start number elements. So here I want to start numbering from 1. I click mark, and now here you can see in a new name section that the old grids are renumbered. I just click OK, and now you can see that the grids are in a correct way. Also, there's a checkbox here, automatically sort grids. It means that whenever you move grid lines, it does follow and track your geometrical position, and it renames the grid lines automatically, so you don't really need to keep an eye on it. So it's really convenient way to work with grids. Okay, so now I want to show you another example in the same view. In this example, I want to present the flexibility of sorting the wall elements. There are many logical ways how to sort the elements, especially walls here, but sometimes you want to sort elements in a unique way. For example, here we have like split walls, and let's imagine that these walls are prefabricated wooden elements, and we want to create them unique numbering or a unique name. But it's very hard to do that automatically in a way that it's very difficult to sort them in this shape, because it doesn't really has right parameter. But our sort mark tool, we do have this parameter, which is called let's open a wall category to rename, and the mark parameter, that's the place where we enter our number value. Click OK, and I want to pay your attention to the sorting section here. As I said, we have many different parameters which helps us to sort the elements in the desired way, but we have this additional parameter which I just you can add new parameters, but I have already created the configuration. So here we have element position by model line, so it means that these wall elements now will be sorted by this line. So it means that we're gonna follow this line, and in this way we sort the sort and name the walls. I'll just click OK, and we can see the result. Of course, after this feature, we need to click on the beginning of the model line. Yeah, and now here you can see that we started to number elements from this corner, and by following this model line, we name all the elements after that. So that's a really comfortable feature in our tool to sort by model line. Of course, this has to be drawn before starting to use element numbering feature. Okay, so now we can jump also to another model, where I also want to demonstrate you how the tool can be used to number doors. So as that's a new model, let's open up the sort mark tool again. Just drag here and close the dock. But I want to start by another function here. It's autofill door swing direction. This feature helps us to create a unique value for the left swing direction doors and for right swing direction doors. First, we need to choose how we identify this type of doors. In my case, it's right swing direction. And then I apply the symbol, letter, in my case, for left swing direction doors and for right swing direction doors. So when I click OK, you can see that the doors are marked in the parameters. Here, in the swing direction parameter, you can see that these doors are defined as a right swing direction with R mark. If we click on this door, it's a left swing direction. In this way, you can easily automatically apply the rule and easily understand the quantity of left and right swing direction doors. But let's now use this parameter, swing direction parameter, in our door numbering rule. So let's open up element numbering. We need to choose a mark parameter. That's the place where we enter our numbering value. We click OK. And here I have created a configuration before the presentation. So in this configuration, we have the rules applied for our numbering, but I want to pay our attention that there are many different sections, and in those sections you can do any rules. So let's say here in the filter I want to number only interior walls, so I create the rule for that. Also, in the numbering I place instance ID. It means that every individual door will get a unique number. So let's click OK and see the result. As I already have tags here, so you immediately see that all the doors are renumbered here. And the first number, it identifies the level. Then the letter, it identifies the swing door direction. And the number afterwards, it defines which number of the door it is in the model. Also, if you go to the second floor, you can see that the doors gets number 2 in the beginning. So it's really easy way to create different rules, and you can manipulate with those parameters. So again, it's very useful if you have multiple elements, such as doors here. Okay, let's go to another view. And in this view, I want to demonstrate to you the calculate coordinates function. But before that, I want to have your attention on this spot coordinate default function of Revit. As you may know, this function doesn't really help you to catch the center position of pile foundations, as I have in this view. Also, it's the same with columns. So as you can see, we cannot catch the center. So our tool is helping us to do that, and it's really quick and automatic way to create coordinates, center coordinates of our pile foundations. So here, let's choose structural foundation category. So that stands for the pile foundations. Click OK, and here we choose the calculate coordinates parameter that I was creating before. So that's the place where we put a calculated new value of the coordinates. That's a parameter for that. And the final step is to define the location of the element which we want to consider and to calculate as a coordinate. So we choose middle point. We click OK, and you can see that 261 elements were numbered or were marked with coordinate values. So now you can see that all these pile foundations has, it has an X value and the Y value. Of course, you can readjust the view of it, and by using the element numbering feature, you can add an X and Y in front of these two coordinate values. Also, it's very easy if you do some changes. For example, if you move some elements, in this case pile foundations, you just need to repeat the procedure here. Click structural foundation, calculate coordinates, middle point, and now you see the coordinates are updated. We go back. These are old coordinates, and this is updated coordinates. So that's a really helpful way to find, especially for pile foundations. It's really helpful to use calculate coordinates tool. We also have a feature, calculate elevations. It helps you to find the location of the Z value, so you can use this tool for beams or for windows in elevations or sections. So let's open up the third module. In this example, I want to demonstrate to you how easy it can be to use our rule, because you can easily change the rules by adding or removing parameters from the configuration dialog box. So let's focus, for example, on this wall. We have a different name for every framing wall studs. For example, here I have studs. These two are king studs. We have a header, top plates, bottom plates here, and we want to number them separately. So it means that all these vertical studs, it will get an S, for example, and following one number, and the number will change according to the length of those elements. So let's say I want these two elements as that's the same length. I want these elements to get S1 number. As this is a longer element, I want this as to name S2. This is S3, S4, S5, and these two, again, it should be similar. So for that, let's create a rule. Actually, I already have a configuration for that. So a structural framing category here. FM sort mark, that's a parameter where I want to enter the framing members number. Click OK. And here you can see that I have the parameters in a grouping. So this parameter, it gives a separate number, like a separate group of the number starting from 1 in this element. So as I said, for studs I want to start from 1. For king studs, it again will start from 1, but it will have additional letter to identify the type of the stud. But I also want to include another parameter, which is host member sort mark here. This parameter is it's isolating the whole wall element from others. So we will number all the elements actually, but they will be numbered as a separate unit. I will demonstrate you that. Also, I want to show that we also number elements by these parameters. So it means, well, basically we want the same elements to have the same number. So we add these values, these parameters for that. And in the end, we have formatting value. Let's click OK and see the result, how it looks. So now we can see that all these studs, all the top plates, bottom plate, the blocks in between, they have unique numbers. As I mentioned, the studs have S1, S1, and it grows according to the length of the members. These last four elements, it gets S6, as that's the same length. That's also applied here on this element. It's a bit different element, so, and that's also here. But I want to pay our attention that these the last studs of the element, for example, here it gets S6. In this element, it gets S4. And that's the same here is S4. So this is because we have these elements with different profile. So if you would notice, we have a top plate here with a different slope comparing with this wall. And that causes us having 4 different lengths of the elements. And here we have just 2. And that means that we have a bigger variety of the studs in this wall than we have in this. But let's say we want in the whole project, or for all these 3 walls, we want to make these 4 elements and these 4 elements to be named with the same number, which means S6 or S4. So we don't want to differentiate the same elements in the whole project. To do that, we just need to go back to the same configuration, and we just need to take this parameter off, which isolates every wall element from one another. So then we take this parameter off, we just click OK, and you can see that the members are renumbered, and we have 160 of them. So if you would do that manually, it would take really long time. So now you can see that these 4 elements now are named by S8. That's the same here, and that's the same here. So now the same length of the studs in the project are named with the same name. Of course, you would notice that in this profile we have S2 and S4 here, skipping S3, but S3 is actually in another element because the length of this stud is bigger than this one and smaller than this one. So probably you can get the logic of it, and yeah, that's just one of the examples how you can manipulate the parameters and create different numbering rules. Yeah, so let's go to the sheet here, and finally I want to demonstrate you the last feature, the newest feature we have in the sort mark tool. It's QR barcode generator. So this feature can generate independent QR or barcodes automatically that contains certain information about selected elements. So the code system is widely, well, you probably know that QR codes and barcodes are used in our daily life, in shops and events when we buy a ticket. So we can also apply the same method here, for example, for these 3 walls. And by doing this, we can easily transfer the information to our colleagues, to people from other disciplines. So now I'll show how you do that. Let's choose wall category here. Let's use image instance parameter. That's a parameter where the QR code or barcode image will be applied. And the instance means that every wall will get a unique barcode. Click OK. And here I have already created the configuration before. So you can choose all the, any parameters from the list and import them into this section. And whenever you will scan the barcode, you will see all the information about these elements. For example, the area of the walls, the mark, or the fire rating, also the length of the wall. So you can import some other parameters in here. Also, you can choose a QR code or a barcode here, change the size of that, and it's very easily applied. You click OK. And now these elements, it has image parameter here, and that's the place where your QR code is imported. Before the presentation, I already created the schedule with the mark and the image parameter. So now you can see that the QR code is imported in here. To see the final result, you just need to drag that schedule and put it here. And now you can see that these elements, these three elements, it gets individual unique barcodes. So you now can just scan these barcodes and see the parameters of each wall. So that's really helpful tool to avoid miscommunication or just transfer the information about the elements quickly. Yeah, so let's go back to the presentation, and I want to quickly conclude the information which we covered today. The main thing is probably that the tool is helping you to do everything automatically, and it helps to reduce the time spent on manual tasks, especially when you have really huge projects like I shown you the second module, where you have multiple doors and you can name them and number them manually, but it would take really long time. Also, the sort mark tool is reducing human errors, so by avoiding typing everything by hand, you really protect yourself from making mistakes. And the tool is flexible, where you can really add or remove some parameters, and that really allows you to create many different configurations which you can save later on your computer and use for your projects. So basically, if you have like standard numbering for doors, walls, you can use the same configurations in other projects. So that really optimizes your work. So how we can start working 50% more effectively? I would strongly suggest you to visit our sort mark page, where you can download and try our sort mark free trial version for 14 days. That's completely for free, and we would be happy to help you with the tool in the beginning steps, so you really catch the logic of the tool. Or you can also get a proposal for your network licensing by contacting us with the email. But yeah, so that was basically it from me today. I hope you get something useful. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you next time.
AGACAD, building BIM together.